The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 132 of the Daily Mother Swole. Oh. So I was just talking about before I went live, someone asked me on Periscope if I did it every day. And yes, I do the show every day. And that I do podcasts, I multitask. And I said, I do 8 things at the same time. 8 things. Here's what I do. Live on Facebook, 1. Live on Periscope, 2. Live on Busker, 3. Shooting for YouTube, 4. The podcast goes on SoundCloud, 5. iTunes, 6. Stitcher, 7. And number 8 is getting fucking huger, getting more swole. So I'm doing all 8 things same time. You're welcome. You're welcome for number 8. Everyone's like, oh, I wonder what else he does. Like, son of a bitch. Got us again with the gain joke, with the muscle joke. But if thou art as swole as I am, you can make jokes like that and get away with it. No complaints. I see no comments. That means I'm absolutely correct, 100%. There's no argument there. Why would there be? I'm quite the marketer. I'm quite the content creator, that's for damn sure. And so I've been doing this is episode, well, guess how many days in a row? 132. And like I said on other occasions that there were about 20 or 25 episodes before the Daily Swole that was at noon, but I did not name it Daily Swole until about 20 episodes in, so I just started from scratch. And we're almost at like episode 93 or 94 of Driving While Gaining on my YouTube channel. There's about 80 or something episodes of Raw. There's 37, going to be 38 Swole Motions. There's a lot of crazy content, the volume of content on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Swolenormous, well over 500 videos, like 550 or 520. And it's only been since April. So, yeah, and just so everyone knows on Periscope and everywhere, Gains13, that's Tommy. Tommy has been here since the first episode, if I'm not mistaken, Tommy. I think you signed into my first Facebook Live broadcast, like number 1. Like, not even number 1 Daily Swole, but like number 1, like, Swolenormous Live or whatever I was calling it at 12. Like the first one I did. So that's badass, man, that you're here on episode 132. Like from the beginning, literally the beginning. And I think you were there since the very literally first episode. Like the first time I went live on Facebook. So that's super cool. So today is called You Can Do It and Put Your Hips Into It. You can do it, put your hips into it. I am totally an ass man in reality, but also because the glutes are probably the most important muscle in the body that can cause and wreak havoc above and below the hip region. So if your glutes are not firing properly, it's going to jack you up above, like up to your shoulders and neck, and it's going to jack up your knees and ankles, your lower back, everything. So the glutes are super important. Let's talk about you can do it. Put your glutes into it, put your hips into it. Let's talk again a little bit more specifically about activating the glutes. Now in my Swolenormous Premium group, I've been doing a lot of overhead squat assessments and squat assessments in general and, correcting movement imbalances and movement patterns. So I'm always pushing the glutes. I'm always pushing yoga. I'm saying you should do yoga. It's super important. The reason why is because yoga, pretty much without having to learn corrective exercise, without having to learn the science and do isolated exercise, yoga pretty much covers everything you need to do in terms of corrective exercise. It activates the glutes. It works on rotation of the hips. It stretches the hip flexors a lot. It works on core stabilizer. It works on thoracic extension. It does pretty much everything you need to do to correct your body from moving shitty for years. And it's just easier than saying, oh, do 12 reps of this, do this every day. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to do that. Just go to yoga class. Go do a yoga program regularly. Do it 3 or 4 days a week. You'll see night and day differences with your physique after a couple of weeks, like with your body and how you feel. That's why I just say yoga so much, because it's easier than trying to teach someone corrective exercise, especially if I'm doing it remotely with my online accountability group in Swolenormous Premium. and here, if I just say yoga, it's like, go do it. Go do it. Pick a yoga style of your choice. Find a class and instructor that you like and just do it. Anyway, if your hips are jacked up, if you have issues, if you have chronic problems, a great sign or a big sign, if you have, weak glutes and you have problems with your hips, is going to be if you have chronic back pain. If you have chronic knee pain, if you have a lot of you pull hamstrings a lot of times that's just because your glutes are weak. Yeah, there are, Tommy. Off the top of my head, I don't have it. I really should start posting some more yoga videos. Tommy was asking about good yoga people on YouTube. And, of course, I probably wouldn't be doing super crazy on the beach stuff like they do. But, they're definitely, just do a Google search. Do a Google search, see what's popular and try it. But, yeah, there are people out there for sure. Tight hip flexors. If your tight hip flexors are causing your imbalance, it's probably because you're sitting down a lot or you're in a car a lot. You're sitting down at work. Tight hip flexors from immobility and from sitting in a hip flexed position with your thighs up towards your stomach and your chest from sitting down, that's going to just cause constant tension, pulling your body forward, pulling your torso forward. When that happens, your glutes stop firing as much neurally. Your brain starts shutting down activity to the glutes, and then your lower back starts working hard to pull your body upright. And then you can cause chronic pain and chronic fatigue in your lower back. Thus, chronic back problems, then your muscles in your lower back are working too often. You're more likely to slip a disc. You have weaker core and less stability, which can lead to injury. Forward lean, if you're squatting down and when you bend down, when you keep your heels down flat, your stomach comes way too far close to the ground. You just really can't keep your chest up. Like you can never do an overhead squat with a bar. You have a tough time doing squats and having it hit your glutes and not hurt your lower back. That is also a sign of either tight calves or also tight hip flexors. So it could be a couple different reasons. I'm not going to get into every single detail because then I'm just talking to you and a lot of you are going to sit there like, whoa, and listening on podcasts. Well, I don't know what the heck he's talking about. Just understand that when you feel uncomfortable during a squat, if you cannot squat with keeping your chest up and you have to lean forward a lot when you keep your feet flat, it's because your ankles are probably tight and your hips are probably tight. So there are issues when you're moving improperly. There are issues causing that, and you have to work on correcting that. Otherwise, you are at high risk for an injury, and that's not necessarily during an exercise. You can hurt yourself. You can hurt yourself just bending over and picking something up because you're in a position that is, you're in a sabotage position. You're in a sabotage state. Your body is at risk. Your body is in a weakened state to begin with. So then having external force and doing activity and high speed movements and jumping and running and, anything you do, treadmill, biking, it's just a recipe for potential disaster. Glute activations, doing things that are in my YouTube channel, doing glute bridges, the hip bridges, doing planks, doing single leg balance reach, doing single leg squats are great for activating the glutes. So you can look at my YouTube channel, my exercise videos. I do talk a lot about glute activation. If your glutes are weak, your hamstrings are going to be working too hard. So your hamstrings might feel very tight, but in all reality, their hamstrings are probably very stretched because when your glutes start deactivating, your hips travel forward into what's called an anterior pelvic tilt. Your hamstrings are stretched too much and they feel tight, but they're not too tight. They're just overstretched and over lengthened. So you're not able to lengthen your hamstrings or pull your leg up far because they're already overstretched. So when your hamstrings are working too hard, because the glutes aren't working hard enough, you have an imbalance that is resulting with a muscle that shouldn't be working so hard, working really hard. And the problem with that is eventually one day it'll work too hard with it for a job that it shouldn't be doing because the glutes are sleeping, they're on vacation, and hamstring goes pop, and then you're out for a while. And then it heals, you don't change anything, it'll get better, you go back to doing what you're normally doing, and eventually again, pop your hamstring. And most people that hurt their hamstrings hurt it regularly or hurt it chronically or once every year or two, something like that. There's a reason for that because things aren't balanced properly. So because the hamstrings can be dominant, can dominate over the glutes, it's very important to be aware of this and to activate the glutes all the time. Even if you have a big butt or you have a big squat, it looks like you have a big ass, doesn't mean the glutes are firing properly, doesn't mean the body is balanced. Just because you look like you have a big butt doesn't mean you have the control and the command in that area as much as you should. So don't have that misconception. Just because there's muscle mass there doesn't mean that relative to the other muscles and relative to the joint position that it's in the right spot. So yoga You could also do things like deep squats against the wall. Keep your feet flat. Squat down as low as you can against the wall, keeping your sacrum, your tailbone all the way up to the back of your head. Get down to a squat, get as low as you can, keeping your heels as close to the wall as you can. Toes can slide out as long as your knees stay over your second toe, and just squat down against the wall so your back is flat, your tailbone all the way up to your head, and you get nice into a nice deep Indian squat, deep ass to grass squat, as deep as you can, keeping your back completely flat so your tailbone is not coming off, and then just pull your back and just keep on sliding down and hold that position as your back is flat against the wall. That's another great way to do it at home and to warm up and to practice stretching those muscles and activating the glutes and getting your body mobilized to get into a deeper squat. We'll get more into some ankle flexibility, moving forward in the future, but you can do it. You got to put your hips into it, just like the song. You can do it. Put your ass into it. You got to put your hips into it. You have to. You absolutely have to. The glutes are the king of the jungle, and when they're sleeping, just like in the real jungle, the prairie just goes absolutely fucking nuts, and the gazelles start eating the rabbits, and the tortoises start beating up, giraffes and shit. It's just chaotic. It's nasty. All lives matter. You got to be careful of the prairie. Let the king of the jungle do his job. Make sure you give the lion that big, juicy fucking ribeye. I am hungry. If you haven't noticed, I'm hungry. Glutes should be in charge. Make sure the glutes are working. Make sure the glutes are the primary muscle for hip extension. Make sure you're doing your activation. Every time you do legs, every time you go to the gym, you should do some glute activation exercise. Do a hip bridge, do a single leg squat, do your lateral tube walking with the band that you see me do in some videos. If you need extra assistance, if you want to get started, if you want to take your training by the fucking balls, sign up for my Swolenormous premium group. It's $4.99 a month, which is still ridiculous, and people are taking advantage of it, and they're getting a lot of help, and they're getting a lot of real private direct training because the group is a tight-knit community. I don't let everyone in there. You still have to fill out an application. You still have to take it seriously and put your time and effort into it. So it's an accountability group. We do program design, we do nutrition, we do exercise program, we do whatever you need specifically. You come to the group and everything's customized. I don't sell you bullshit programs and, here, do this, you'll get in shape. No, I want to guide you through. I want to teach you about your body. I want you to take control of your fitness and your health. So it's like a group, it's like a mastermind group that I lead, and it's a great community. So you can sign up if you're interested, which you should be, on my website, swolenormous.com. And like I said, it's $4.99 per month. It's through PayPal. It's super secure. If you don't like it, you don't got to stay, but everyone does. Everyone does, because it's just, the value is ridiculous. So if you want to make change, if you really want to get consistent with it and really get yourself started finally, don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till, I'll start in January. Stop making excuses. Get off your ass and do something before you're fat for the rest of your life and miserable and in pain, okay? You don't have to be. It's a choice. You're making an active choice with how you look and how you feel. So understand that resignation is going to kill you a lot faster than if you take your health into your own control, okay? Just keep that in mind. I'll leave on a high note, right? Damn. Freaking negative Nancy over here. Anyway, it's Thursday. It's almost Friday, which means nope, not almost a weekend. It's just another day to get those motherfucking gains. Boom, flex it out. Thank you for joining me for episode 132 of the Daily Swole. I'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Time for episode 133 of the Daily Mother. Bing, chicken's done. Swole. See you tomorrow. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Another.